Okay, so that was about flashback database. Now there is another small concept which is called as a restore point. Okay, say you know that you are going to try something new, and that might mess up the data in the database. You know you are trying something new for configuring some new option in the application, and that might dump some data which might have to be cleaned up. In those scenarios, there is something called as a restore point. So you can tell the database that at this point of time, create a point or create a reference point so that I can come back to this point anytime. Okay, so going back to our this one, so your flashback is on, right? So for restore point, you have to have the flashback on. Without the flashback on, the restore point will technology will not work. Okay, so FLB 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and say at this time T6 time, the application team guy came up to you and he said like, I'm trying to do something new and this might mess up the data. Do you have any way to get back to this one? Or he might ask like, can you make sure that flashback logs are saved? Now you don't know if how much flashback logs that guy might generate. If he crosses the limit and flashback logs automatically get deleted, then you are in danger. So what you'll tell him, okay, what we'll do is we'll create a restore point and you can come back to the restore point any point in time. Okay, you can come back to that point. So at T6, we'll create a restore point. Okay, let's say RP. Okay, you create a restore point. Now he does many things. At this point, he say, okay, like I expected, this kind of messed up my configuration. Can you put the database back to same point? Then you can jump from this point directly to this point. You don't even need to tell the database flashback to SCN 700 or flashback to time T6 or flashback to sequence 7 or anything like that. You say just flashback to restore point. Every restore point will have a name. Flashback to restore point ABC. The database will check if flashback logs are available, archive logs are available, and it will flashback to that particular restore point. Right? Easy. So basically it's a marker for the SCN number. Okay, restore point. There are two types of restore point. One is normal restore point, other one is a guaranteed restore point. Normal restore point and guaranteed restore point will work the same way. Just that when we say guaranteed restore point, whatever might happen, even if the flashback recovery area is 100% full, still the database will not delete the flashback logs or the archive logs which is required to come back to this restore point. Only when it is a guaranteed restore point. If it's a normal restore point, then it will, if there is contention of space and no other files can be deleted, database is going to delete those flashback logs or archive logs which might be required for the restore point. Now why would somebody go for a normal restore point? That is there comes the demerit of guaranteed restore point. Now consider a scenario where you have created a guaranteed restore point and forgot about that one. Our application team on the Friday morning, they said, I want a guaranteed restore point. We created, and weekend everybody is happy and they want to go home, and we forget about this guaranteed restore point. Now all over the weekend there is some data load happened in the database, and this generated a huge amount of changes in the database, huge amount of redo logs created, huge amount of archive logs created, since archive logs are nothing but copy of redo logs. And since flashback was turned on, it generated flashback logs also. Now FRA is 100% full. Since FRA is 100% full and database cannot write any flashback logs or the archive logs, your database will freeze, right? So in that scenario, you might want to ask this guy, application team guy, do you think you are going to use this for a longer time? Because this is my demerit. If I put it and leave it and you don't come back, I don't keep a track of this, is going to freeze the database. And if it's production database, we don't want to do that one, right? The business will be down. So in those cases, you can go with the normal restore point. Or you know that for sure I'm going to go back to this restore point within 1 hour or 2 hour, then you go with normal restore point. You don't need guaranteed restore point. So the two restore points, interview questions, what are the different types of restore points? Normal, guaranteed. What is the difference between normal and guaranteed? Guaranteed would make sure the logs are available irrespective of FR is full. Normal, the flashback logs can get deleted, or archive logs required for this restore point can get deleted. Okay. Third interview question, then what's the use of having a normal restore point? If you're sure you're going to come back to the restore point within few hours and your retention is like few days, then you can go with normal restore point. How do we create a restore point? Say you are upgrading your database. In that case also you can create a restore point. Okay. If you want to, if you are going from version 12c to the latest version 23c, then you can do the restore point, create a restore point, something like this. So create restore point and the restore point name. Here the before underscore upgrade is your restore point name. Let me put in italics. Okay. This name can be anything. There is no restriction, but I think there is a restriction on number of characters you can use. At least I have not created any restore point with so big name. So create restore point before underscore upgrade. Now this is a normal restore point. Okay. Let's create a guaranteed restore point. I'll say underscore G for guaranteed. So create restore point name, guarantee flashback database. So here also it says restore point created only. It will not say guaranteed restore point created. Okay. Restore point created. Now, how will you find out the restore points in a database? Say you saw that the FRA is full, some DBA you have 10, 15 DBAs in your company, and you were off for 1 week, and you suddenly come to office and you say FRA is full. Now you want to know if there is a restore point, if you can delete a restore point which is holding the FRA, right? How can you check the information if there is any restore point? So select star from v dollar restore underscore point. Easy. Information about restore point, v dollar restore underscore point. Information related to database, v dollar database. Information related to redo logs, v dollar log. Information related to archive log, v dollar archived underscore log. So this table has a lot of rows. Let me try to see if I can format this one. So pages 1000, lines 1000, rerun. Yeah. Okay. So it has SCN number when the restore point was created. Almost same SCN number we created this restore point, because there's not much changes happening on database. Database incarnation, we'll study about the incarnation later. Guaranteed, GUA, it's a short form, it puts for guaranteed. Guaranteed restore point, yes. Guaranteed, no. So this is our normal restore point. This is our guaranteed restore point. This is the restore point name. Storage size. So this guaranteed restore point has already created files of this size. This is in bytes. So it's like KB MB, 209 MB of files are generated, which are held up for this guaranteed restore point. But normal restore point does not show anything. Okay. And what time this guaranteed restore point was created, and other informations of this guaranteed restore point. Okay. So here you can come and say you found out that there is a guaranteed restore point which is kind of holding up all the flashback logs, and you try to go and check with the application team or the DBA who created that guaranteed restore point. Why did you know that? And you figured out that okay, we can delete this guaranteed restore point. So what you do is drop drop restore point name, restore point dropped. Now select star from v dollar restore point. I have only one restore point, which is a normal restore point. So I'm gonna leave this normal restore point there itself. Let's see if we come up with a scenario later on where we deleted some flashback logs got deleted, and we do not have flashback logs to go back. All right. So this is the time 5th March 9:41 p.m. and our flashback logs here we see 9:29 one was created, 9:44 one was created. Okay. So uh, let's do some of the class and try to come back to this one. Once the flashback logs are deleted, we'll try to come back to this restore point and we'll see what error it complains about. Okay. Okay, so drop off the restore point. Again, if you want to turn off the flashback off, you can do the flashback off. When will we do flashback off? Say in development databases where there's not much development activity going on. Few times we create a development database which is a exact copy of production, just to test any issues which occur in production. We want exact replica of production. We create a development database and the application team might do some testing over there to fix the issue in production. We cannot directly go and try to put something in production and break the system over there. So we will have a replica copy which most probably every week we refresh from the production copy. DBAs do that one and we hand it over to application team. They will have that handy and they will do the testings whatever they want in that particular uh, this one database. Okay, then we turn off the flashback on the database. Dropping off restore point and disabling flashback. Is this a repeat? Okay, so how do we flashback a database? So you can use this $v flashback database log view to determine how far you can flashback the database. So here I can flashback the date is same today since we are looking at right now, but the SCN we can flashback is up to this SCN. Let me see what is the current SCN. Select current underscore SCN from $v database. So I am at 309 3095,999. This is 3093. Okay, we are already crossed like 2000 ACNs, but still I can go up to 2000 ACNs back. Let us see. Okay, current ACN I found out. I'm checking if I have any guaranteed restore point. There is no guaranteed restore point. Let's follow the steps and let's try to flashback the database. So to flashback a database, we have to put the database in a mount mode because the database is going to go in the past. You cannot have application keep on making changes on the database while we are trying to go back, right? That's going to mess up the SCNs at the database level. So when we put it in mount mode, only DBA can do their work and application cannot access the database. Okay, that is the main reason why we put it in mount mode. Startup mount. Okay, so flashback has to be done using Rman. So what I will do is I'll connect to Rman. We'll be seeing how to connect to Rman later on. This is how we connect. It's a simple connection. Rman target slash. So here when you connect to Rman, it shows not open means it is mounted. Database is not open. So what I will do is I'll do flashback database to, I'll give this SCN. This is the oldest I can go. What I'll do is flashback database to SCN 657, right? I'll give something like, I'll give 60. Okay, I need to put SCN to SCN 60. So now it's flashing up back the database. Okay, so it found all the flashback logs and it says finished flashback. Okay, it took 15 seconds to complete this flashback operation. It's a small changes, so 15 seconds. If it's you're going few days back, then it is more. Always remember when you are flashing back a database, you are flashing back the whole database. Okay, so make sure what application team actually wants if they want to just flashback one table or flashback the whole database, right? If they ask for table and flashback the database, and I mean, if they ask for a table and you flashback the database, you are erasing all those changes which happened from this point until the current time. Okay, be careful what you are doing. uh, Better to take a approval on an email or the confirmation on an email on what they want, because things change. To save their job, they might lie. You never know who is what. So always make sure your life is safe, your job is safe. Whatever changes has to be done on a database, confirmation via email or a request. That way your job is safe. Okay, once we flash back, alter database, open read only. So why we are opening read only? We want to check if the database does open fine or it is complaining about anything else. Because when you're opening the database, that is when your data files SCNs are being matched. Until then the data files are SCNs are not matched. Now it's a statement process, means it is fine, database was opened. Now since opening is fine and we opened in read only mode, means still application does not have access to change anything. Application can read, but it does not have access to change anything. Now to open in read write mode, I shall we shut down immediate again. You can execute few of the SQL commands from rman, but like shutdown of database and everything you cannot execute. Like open of database in read only mode we were able to execute, but shutdown immediate it does not like it. It does not understand the command. Okay, try to mount the database. Okay, sorry, my SQL test connection has to respond. Okay, startup mount. And we just don't do alter database open, we do something called as alter database open reset logs. Okay, what happens in open reset logs? Basically your sequence number of the redo sequence, right? Here until this point it was 10. If you do open reset log here, it is going to reset the sequence number, it is going to start from 1 again. Okay, so that is what is going to happen. And there will be something called as a reincarnation of database, because your database might be probably you flashback until this T5 or T6 using a restore point or the SCN. From this point your database is kind of getting a new life. Okay, so from this point it is new life. So from this point your redo sequence will be 1 2 3 4, and this will be registered as a incarnation of the database. Again, incarnation means coming back to life. Same thing happening here, incarnation of the reincarnation of the database. Okay, now database is open. Let us quickly check what is the current SCN. 30 3093 814. Before flashback our SCN was 3095 999. We flashback to 3093660. It kind of, sorry, wait a minute, kind of made few more changes after that one. So we have successfully flashback from 3095999. We came back to 30993 Okay, it did flashback to the given SCN, but again while starting the database few changes all happen, get recorded and the SCN number changes, right? Now I told you about incarnation, right? So these kind of things happen a lot in databases, reincarnation of database. Okay, how can you find how many incarnations are there? There's a command in rman which is list incarnation. Okay, here you see this is the incarnation key. So 1 2 3. Okay, we had a reset log on 5th March 2024, which is today, and that is our current incarnation. This is our current incarnation, and the previous one becomes a parent incarnation. Okay, and at what time the reset logs were done. Okay, those information will be created in this one. If you don't want to do it from R1, you want to do it from SQL Plus, we have a table in SQL Plus also. I think it's v dollar incarnation. Let's see. Oh, incarnation. There's a table in SQL Plus also. I will try to find out that for you. I don't want to waste time now. Okay, when you're doing the flashback, right? If the flashback is running for a longer time, there's a query which you can use to determine how much uh, percentage of work is done and how much bytes of information were changed. Okay, you can use this query. So this view v dollar session underscore longops is the important part over here. You can keep this one. You can change the operation name. Instead of flashback, if you put rman, then it will give you how much time the rman backup is running. We'll see that in next class. But this v dollar session underscore longops is very helpful for you when something is running longer and you want to know how much time it will take. Say for example, application team said, oh, we have to flash back the whole database, flash it back, I want the data back. We made a blunder, and they say, okay, go ahead, flashback, approval, everything done. Now you start the flashback. Now you wait 30 minutes, 1 hour, still it's going on. You don't know. They're asking, is it done, is it done? You're telling it's going on, it's going on. How can you be more effective in giving them the exact time so that they don't trouble you, keep on troubling you? You can run this query and it will tell you how many minutes more left for the completion. Okay, you saw here 60 minutes, give them 90 minutes, give me 90 minutes, it will be done. Okay, you want some time to shut down the database, start the database, and validate and send it back, right? In 30 minutes, if you complete your work in 10 minutes also, well and good. Application team will be happy that instead of 90 minutes we gave it back in 70 minutes. Instead of you tell 60 minutes and give in 80 minutes, that won't look good. Okay, take some buffer time for you and get the work done. Okay, same way flashing back table also, the same steps you can follow this one. These are the same steps for flashback table. Here you flashback table, this is the owner of the table and the table name. To restore point, what restore point you want to flashback. So here it will only flashback the table, it will not flashback the whole database. Say for example, they dropped a table and you want to flashback, you want to revert that drop, you can follow the steps. You can rewind the drop of the table. You want to flashback the database, these are steps which we did already. Okay, so this is about flashback and restore point. rman internally uses this technology. It is not evident while we are doing rman, but internally flashback, restore points no, rman will not use, but flashback technology, if you are going back, you're restoring the database, all those things, internally flashback is used, flashback logs are used. But it is not necessary that rman has to have flashback. rman will run without flashback also. It's just that it will only depend on archive logs if flashback is not enabled. Okay, so that was about flashback and your restore point. Important concepts, many people will judge you on this one. Interview questions, many interview questions come from this part, so just make sure you understand everything.